I truly believe in the power of good design in terms of our business. It really helped us elevate our brand and fulfill the mission that we're also trying to fulfill, which is to really also elevate the Filipino spirits, especially with people's perception or openness with trying out or rediscovering Filipino spirits. Hi, my name is Ken Alonso.
And I'm Maina Alonso. Welcome to our home.
Welcome to our home. This is our shop house. Also is our office space for our company called Proudly Promdi, or Proudly from the Province. We are a proud distributor of artisanal Filipino spirits. This is where we hold our tasting sessions with our clients. And this also is a space for our Hohol nights every Saturday, which is a private cocktail tasting. Proudly Promdi, I guess we officially started back in 2011. My mom approached me to help redesign a label of one of the winemakers in this town called Adams. So her name was Doc Bielma. So she had this product. It was a Bugnay fruit wine. I used to work as a graphic designer. She asked me if I could just relabel or make a nice label for them. A friend of mine asked me if I wanted to sell in a bazaar, and then I just randomly agreed to say yes. Of course, I had the Bugnay bottles, and I didn't know or expect what I was gonna get myself into. And then the surprising thing there was when I was having people try them, they were surprised, pleasantly surprised. They realized that, oh really, this is from the Philippines? This is a wine made in the Philippines? And I said, yes, it's made in Adams, in a small province in Ilocos. And then that made me realize now, oh, a lot of people actually don't know that we had Bugnay wine, similar to myself as well. So I continued joining bazaars, and then a year after, my tita, who was from Kiangan, invited us to their wedding anniversary, their 50th wedding anniversary. And then, of course, if there's a big celebration, the whole town is part of that celebration. And then back then, I was just looking for a beer to drink or to enjoy. But then as I was walking or exploring the town, I couldn't find any beer. And then this old man just handed me a bottle of this Cuatro Canto bottle, and he just told me to drink it. Sabi niya, inumin mo to. Sabi ko, ano yan? Sabi, inumin mo lang yan. And so, yeah, I tried it. I enjoyed it so much that I drank like 3 bottles worth of tapoy. And then the next day, I woke up, the first thing I asked was, what did I just drink? And then my mom and my relatives told me, oh, that was tapoy, that was rice wine. And sabi ko, really? And then I talked to one of the tapoy makers, and that's when I met Nani or Nani. And then, yeah, I asked her if she was willing for me to sell her products in Manila. And then I said, I'll take care of the packaging, I'll label it also similar to the Bugnay. And then I brought it to Manila, joined another bazaar, and then first day pa lang, 24 bottles sold out. So that was really interesting also. And again, another insight there was people didn't know that it existed and it was proudly made here in the Philippines. A lot of Filipinos actually didn't know that we had such amazing Filipino spirits. And of course, a lot of these spirits are actually, traditional and heritage spirits. And so we decided to just continue making or selling in bazaars and then eventually to restaurants.
So the way we designed the space is we wanted to make it as multifunctional as we could, because we wanted to really serve the different purposes for our needs. In terms of like the design, I think coming just from the branding of Proudly Promdi, it's really a lot of a splash of vibrant colors and mixing of different textures and prints. At the same time, because it's still part of our home, we wanted it to still feel like you're entering a home, because technically it is our home. And we want to make sure that you feel warm and welcome in our space, whether it be if you're gonna work here with us or if you are gonna drink with us. For this space, we wanted to feature also some local artists or artisans. So as you can see, we have this bar that we had Adi Panadera help us visualize what a preskong probinsya would look like, and that's what we wanted to be. It was part of the focus of Proudly Promdi, so we used it for our bar. Other elements would be the banig. We were able to get from one of our travels, and I knew we didn't want to step on it at all because it's too beautiful. So we put it up in our walls and we framed it. So it's one of the focal points also for us. And yeah, we all wanted to also make it feel modern, but at the same time, there's still some elements of nostalgia. I think you might see it in some elements of the space. The thought process behind was just to mix these different vibrant colors to represent, I guess also shows the Philippines, the different colors of the different islands, and how tropical our country is. So you can also see the addition of a lot of greenery here.
And then, of course, we wanted the place to feature the bottles that we carry. Of course, it's really also the primal focus or focal point that we want to have people see when they enter the space, since we really want to feature Filipino spirits. People would actually be encouraged to try our tapuin Bugnay because how it looked like. I think if I sold it the way they were, the way I found it in the province, I think it would have been met with a lot of hesitation because of course they were in recycled bottles. I think it just made people notice. And the fact that the packaging made them notice, they were willing now to try and see what it tasted like. So that already was also a big insight for us because I think there's a lot of perception involved. And with packaging or with branding especially, I think it also helps, kind of change that perception or tweak that perception just to make them a bit more open-minded. Because I believe that, a lot of Filipino products already have their good quality or their world-class quality. So it's just a matter of having people just try them out. And I think that's what, design also did for us.
When we built this space, our idea was really, okay, let's have our office downstairs and then our living space upstairs. And thankfully, we were able to do that by having this two-story building. When we started and we were speaking to our architects from Radius Architecture, we just told them, please give us glass blocks and jalousie windows, because it was just such a statement, and I feel like it was something that Ken and I would not tire of. We wanted the space to just be seamless for our movement, for the function that we needed it to be. And I wanted it to be different from the Promdi space. So this is very colorful and vibrant. Upstairs would be more neutral, but I think there are still some elements that will tie the space all together. has to feel easy on the eyes, at least for us, because this is where we are every day. We work downstairs, we work upstairs. We want to make sure that the space where we live in feels good. It's easy on the eyes. It helps us be productive. It helps our daughter also feel happy to be in this home. How design really helps us is, when you go outside after all the stresses that maybe life and the city will bring, when you come home, it feels, okay, yeah, you're at ease. Like you can forget the traffic, you can forget the pollution for a little bit.
For more insightful videos on design, subscribe to Design Will Save the World.